Hi everybody, it's Cindy Gilroy, and today was budget day, and I want to talk to you on why I didn't support the budget. Things have really shifted and changed at City Hall, and there's a lot more of a lack of transparency and what we actually govern as a councillor, and questions that just are not being answered, that really need to be answered before you vote on a budget. And also, too, my major concern was there is a large portion of people that came for the community connection space at the Millennium Library. That was probably overwhelmingly what we heard most of our delegations on, and quite frankly, many mass emails on the issue of keeping the community's connection space and the funding for that. And I really feel like council did not hear what the community had to say. And it's a shame because my hope is that when people do get to see the final budget and what it kind of is being proposed, that's their opportunity to really be heard. And when you have overwhelmingly that many people come and talk about the community connection space and it not getting added into a budget, and just an example, this is $614,000 in a $1.4 billion budget. So really, it's a very small thing in a big budget. And then on the other side, as a councillor, I'm seeing another library open and some of that staff going to that library. So it's very concerning. I've been very adamant that when we do have new services opening, whether it's a new community center, recplex, anything, that we have to make sure it's net new. So we're adding new. So very disappointed. And just so you know about the community connection space, this program was working so much that other cities were actually looking at replicating it in their own cities. So it is very discerning that that EPC was really not listening to the people that were coming forward and what needed to be changed in such a small amount. So the lack of transparency, what I have seen, has really shifted from when I first got elected. So when I first got elected, we called it EPC +2, and I've been on EPC and I've been off EPC, so kind of understand being on both sides and how it all works. But EPC +2, people were like mad because they were saying, oh my God, 8 people were getting information and nobody else is getting information. Well, now on the budget working group, it is 3 people from start to finish that oversee and get into the really nitty stuff of the budget. 3 people. So when we don't educate ourselves, there's a reason why sometimes people want to do that. Because when people don't know what's going on, they don't know what we're losing, they don't know what we're cutting, they can't ask the tough questions. So that really, really concerns me. And the one of the other things that really drew my attention was this year, I really want to be on community services because I've never been on that committee. And in community services, we used to be able to really look at the police budget and our community services budget. And because community services, a lot of it has been put into the CAO's office, we can't oversee that budget. We can't drill into that budget. Or even the police are now at EPC. So all EPC members are only allowed to drill and ask those questions. It won't be non-EPC people. And it's very, very different when you're able to really ask direct questions to the administration when you're reviewing the budget and questioning the budget. That's a very, very, very important to democracy, to ensuring where we know where our dollars are going. And we're not getting that anymore. It's only EPC. So the strong mayor model really looks at that the mayor has control over the whole agenda and budget process. So I'm going to link in here a little bit more about the strong mayor model, which we are under. We are only one out of 4 cities. Most cities in Canada actually do not have a strong mayor model. And what that is the mayor, because he can decide who becomes on his executive policy committee. His chairs of executive policy committees, they come with a bump and raise, and they get a little bit of extra pay for other things. It's a bonus to be on that committee, and it's also a bonus because it's good to hear what's going on in all these other, instead of having to really keep a track of all these other meetings. You're hearing from all the chairs and all the kind of issues that are arising out of there. So there's a bit of a bonus, a little bit less work on that regard, to really understand what's going on in all these other committees. So it's a challenge. And then the mayor can appoint other people, like the deputy mayor and the acting deputy mayor. So when he has that much power, he can have influence on people and their decision making. So it really affects how we operate, and it's not even on budget, but just on policy, right? Policy direction. So we really need to shift and change this. There's a big shift under Bowman to do that. That was when I was on EPC, and I thought with the new mayor we were changing all that, but it really stifled, and we haven't really done anything. And now we even have less powers than we had under Bowman, in my eyes anyways. So we got work to do, people. We got changes to make, and happy to keep you in the loop. I'm going to try to educate people a little bit more in the links below, and maybe we can pick other topics to talk about, because I know it's a big topic for you to understand. But it was very difficult and challenging for me to see a lot of my own community members that have really worked tirelessly fighting for the community connection space, and them not being heard. And that was the biggest thing in the budget for people. So there you go. There's my answer. Transparency is something we need to work on. We, as councillors, we need to get the information. That's critical, and be able to scrutinize the budget. That's part of democracy. That's our role, and that's our job. Thanks, everybody.